Getting hit with that lock is vicious. Getting hit with that lock, I've seen some people hit with the lock and you're like, wow. Splits him open, puts his hands up, he's trying to fight. It's hard to win, man, when you got 5 or 6 dudes on you. Five or six dudes on this kid, they're beating the shit out of him, they're jumping on him, they're kicking him, he falls on the ground, and they're kicking him. They're putting the boots to this dude, man. Why? Why are you putting the boots to this dude? He's supposed to be your brother. He took a Christmas bag. That was his violation. He took the Christmas bag because he was hungry. He wanted to celebrate Christmas, brother. Not really, he just wanted to eat. Sometimes, man, your stomach's touching your back in there. You're hungrier than a Hebrew slave. Shit is real. Dude took the bag. And for taking the bag, he's got his homies. They're punching on him, they're kicking him. He's on the ground. Police come in. Lock in, lock in. Stop fighting, stop fighting. What do you think they do? All them gangsters, what do you think they do? As soon as the cops start yelling, they stop fighting. In federal prison, I'm gonna tell you this right now. In probably 75 to 80% of the cases, they don't stop. When the police show up, they don't stop. They keep pushing. Nobody stops. You keep pushing until you put dude to sleep or until the cops jump on. So they're beating on this dude, man, over his Christmas bag. Now they all, okay, it's over. I never really realized the treachery of prison and county jails and, just the way that people act, the way that people think, the people that you're around, people that you think, man, one day this dude's an all right dude. And then the next day you're like, nah, this dude ain't no all right dude. Things change from place to place, right? Talked about county jails. We talked about prison. I think we touched on private prisons a little bit. But no matter where you go, you're always going to find people that are ruthless. You're always going to find a person where you're going to be like, man, dude seems like an all right dude. And then later on, you find out, dude ain't an all right dude. Some people can be vicious. Some people just, they lash out with violence, I think, because of how alone they are, how depressed they are, how much they hate the world, how much they hate themselves. And some of these dudes just do vicious, vicious things. I was in the county jail. I talked about our county jail before where, when you're young, you don't really realize, man, that you're working your way to the big house, right? That's why they call it the big house, the prison system where, ruthlessness is at an all-time high, where you really are around some of the worst of the worst. And eventually, I end up in a private prison. I end up in the county jail. I end up in federal prison where you're like, wow, this shit is real right here. These dudes really don't give a fuck. These dudes don't care about taking your life. These dudes don't care about losing all their privileges. Privileges mean nothing in prison. They don't care about losing commissary. They don't care about getting locked down until they're locked down. They don't care about going to the ADX until they're sitting in a cell all alone. And they're thinking like, damn, man, this shit does hurt. But when you're around people, what I say all the time, the image you project is the image you have to protect, right? A lot of cats do that shit. So anyway, man, the county jail is a different animal when you're in the county compared to prison. Sometimes county jails can be even more ruthless than prisons. In our county jail, there wasn't really a lot of cutting and stabbing here and there. Someone might make a little something out of a toothbrush. This is the beginner step. This is where you're starting to learn about jail and jailing and prison. You learn how to make a little shank with a toothbrush. But when you get to the big house, right, that's what they call it for a reason. When you get to where it's real, that's when they start cutting knives out of beds with nail clippers. That's when they take the hair clipper guard and they start cutting what they call bone crushers out of a bed. They put a little tape around the end, grab a hold of it, they start filing it down. And next thing, they got a killing machine, right? Put the little lanyard on there so they can wrap it around their wrist and they can start working. That's when shit gets real. Today we're going to talk a little bit about private prisons and how dudes do things so other people could see them. Some people want to be seen. Some people want to do things to be noticed. They want people to be like, yo, dude right there. Sometimes it's a defense mechanism too. I used to think that about dudes, not all dudes, but a whole lot of these dudes, they get their faces blasted out with tattoos. I feel like they're telling you, hey man, look at me, I'm a crazy motherfucker. You better be scared of me. I'm the dude you've seen in prison movies. But really it's a defense mechanism because they don't really want it. A lot of times some dudes ain't really getting it. I mean, some of them do. Don't make no mistakes about it. But anyway, we're going to go to Youngstown, Ohio. You know, they were housing us in Youngstown, Ohio, where I'm from. Some dudes had escaped from the county jail. They take me to Youngstown, Ohio. You know, your first thought when you get to this place, it's a private prison. The cops are wearing street clothes. You've never been in an environment like this. And when I tell you this environment was off the chain, it's off the chain. It's a place where you could definitely lose your life because no one really gives a fuck. No one cares about whether or not you live or die. Those people are in there trying to get a paycheck, and a whole bunch of them are bringing in that bag, so to speak, right? They're trying to make a couple extra dollars. So, you know, you get to this Youngstown, Ohio, man, I remember going into this cell. I ended up going up there with one of my homeboys from my city, Chiz. And we're sitting in this cell, and I remember looking out the window and pretty much telling them, like, damn, bro, my life's over with, homie. Like, I'm moving further and further away, like, damn, bro, I'm facing a life sentence. I wasn't sentenced at the time. I wasn't convicted at the time. I'm in Youngstown, Ohio, and they're like, oh, go over here, go over there. No one knew what was going on. Even the staff members didn't know what was going on. They pretty much just left us in a cell and brought us some food, some trash-ass food. That's what they did. And they're trying to figure it out, what housing unit you're going to go into. And eventually they figure that out. They send us to a housing unit. And when I tell you total chaos, they walk us into the housing unit probably 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. In most jails, in every jail that I've been, every prison that I've been, just keeping it 100. You know, there was always violence in these places, but the police still had control. This was a place where the police had no control. And if the police don't have control, then your ass is definitely in danger. So I'm in this Youngstown prison. I walk in at 2 in the morning. There's metal tables. There's dudes running around playing dominoes, TVs on. And I'm wondering, like, yo, when do these people go to sleep? Does anybody get any rest? Ain't no rest for the wicked, right? And this place was for the wicked. Like I was saying, there's always, and you know, I'm here at Christmas time. There's always some dudes, man, and plenty of people that have been in prison. You're about to relate to this story. I know you are. There's always dudes in prison that are trying to act like, I'm that dude. Like, yo, you better listen to me. Like, I'm the shot caller. They've never been to prison yet. But they want to be the shot caller at Youngstown, Ohio, which is this is a glorified county jail where no one gives a shit. You can walk around. You can do whatever you want. You could call a cop on the thing, say, hey, unbuzz my door. I'm coming out. When I tell you total chaos, this was total chaos. You want to talk about rehabilitation? There wasn't none in this spot. If anybody had walked in there that had any sense, or they brought a camera in there and said, hey, this is what rehabilitation looks like, people would have been like, wow, this is where my tax dollars are going. So anyway, it's around Christmas time, right? And they're giving out these big ass bags. This is the first year that Youngstown, Ohio opens up. You know, they're trying to kind of mock the Federal Bureau of Prisons. The Federal Bureau of Prisons, back in the day, they used to give out some all right Christmas bags, right? For Christmas, you get a little present. You get a Christmas bag with a bunch of candies, goodies, wham-whams. There's some good shit in there sometimes, stuff that you don't see on the commissary. So the Muslims are telling everybody, they lock us all in. Everybody's got to lock in. This is the one time they're going to lock us in, right? They're going to bring us our Christmas bags. There had already been some chatter, man, where dudes are telling me, hey, man, don't take that Christmas bag. If you're a Muslim, don't take it. What? Yeah, not on no, religion stuff. But, there's this dude over there. He's a man, we ain't taking no Christmas bags, homie. And then there's one Muslim, they start arguing. He's like, bro, I'm taking my bag, brother. I ain't got no comment. I'm taking that bag. They don't mean I'm celebrating Christmas, but I'm taking the bag. And the Muslim brother, kind of big dude, he's like, man, I'm telling you, homie, don't take the bag. The dude's like, man, I'm taking the bag, homie. They lock us in. You already know what it is. When your stomach's touching your back and you ain't got no food in your locker, your brother right here is telling you not to take the bag, but you're thinking about, damn, man, I got to eat. I can't go hungry. I'm taking the bag. Nah, not here. You better not take the bag because you always got that dude. They always got that dude that's going to push the envelope, going to push the agenda. And a lot of times the dude that pushes the envelope, that pushes the agenda, he's usually the dude that really ain't built like that. This cat, he's insistent, man, you better not take that bag. Instead of giving his brother some food and looking out for him, he don't give him shit. But you can tell that there's some animosity. That dude don't like dude. He's going out of his way to, cause his kid some issues. Kid's probably about I don't know, maybe 5'10", probably about my size, right? 5'10", 200 pounds. Well, I'm not 200 yet. But the other dude got a little size on him. So, Muslim brother, they come on, they take the bag, he takes the bag, they open the door, boom, he gets his Christmas bag. You know, everybody's looking. Oh shit, the brother took the bag. And this is one thing that happens in prison. People that have been there can tell you this, right? They end up unlocking us. This brother took the bag. He probably went in there and ate a bunch of stuff. Like, man, I'm eating some of this stuff just in case it goes down. I'm about to get me something. Probably in there munching and crunching, not realizing what's about to happen. Come out of his cell after everyone gets their Christmas bags. Dude immediately beelines to him. He's walking down the steps. What's up, brother? You took that bag? I seen you take the bag, brother. You can see the dude pointing at him, pointing in his face. And of course, in jail, man, I used to think that this place and some of these prisons were like, and I talked about Adam before, right? I used to think that this place was like the Coliseum, man. When you're standing on the upper range, the upper tier, cells all around, you're locked in this big concrete mausoleum. I always call it that. And you're looking down, man, like you're in the Coliseum. You're ready for battle because so many battles take place in these day rooms. See the brother pointing at him, they're arguing, whatever. Dude goes, he goes and gets a couple others, probably like 7 or 8 Muslims. They're over there meeting, you know. No disrespect to anyone, but some of them other cats probably wanted to take that bag too. But this dude has instilled fear in him. And he's probably not even, well, maybe he was. Probably not really built like that, right? But he's installed fear in these dudes. All these gangsters, all these felons, all these dudes out in the street getting money, all these dudes robbing, doing violent shit. You get to prison, and you heard the Native American brother say this in the interview, you know, sometimes dudes that are drug addicts become the bosses. And the bosses are inside washing people's drawers. And a lot of time, them big money dudes, and you notice if you're getting money in the street, and this is my experience, a lot of times them big money dudes that are getting money, they really ain't built like that. They ain't built for the violence. They ain't really been like, so to speak, in the trenches, right? They always had bread. They could have people do what they wanted to do for them. They were leaders. But when you get in there, man, things change. They change. This dude, he's advocating, right? Next thing you know, they got a meeting. They're talking. They're walking around. They're plotting. They go into the cell. Now they're having a meeting in the cell. And, you know, this other dude, he's just like, he's watching. He's not invited to the meeting. Why ain't you invited to the meeting? You know why. Because you're about to become the powwow, right? Like the Native American brother said. You're about to become the victim. And in this place, like I said, you could be victimized. They victimized this kid, right? You know, they have their little meeting. They come out of the cell, and they're probably debating who's going to do it first. Who's going to swing? How are we going to do it? Whenever you go into a cell, man, you start talking with your people. That's what you're doing. You're in there and being like, hey, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. You're going to have a knife. You're going to hit them this way. I'm going to grab them. You know, they put their little thing down. They come out. A couple dudes go to their own cells. One dude walks up. He's got the sock tied to the lock. Walks up, swings the lock. First shot, hits the kid right in the face. He puts his hands up. He does try to fight. But as soon as that lock hit him, man, it like split him open. That's one thing that's, you know, people don't, you know, some people tell you, man, they'd rather be, you know, stuck than hit with a lock. Getting hit with that lock is vicious. Getting hit with that lock, I've seen some people hit with the lock and you're like, wow. Splits him open. Puts his hands up, he's trying to fight. It's hard to win, man, when you got 5 or 6 dudes on you. 5 or 6 dudes on this kid. They're beating the shit out of him. They're jumping on him. They're kicking him. He falls on the ground. And they're kicking him. They're putting the boots to this dude, man. Why? Why are you putting the boots to this dude? It's supposed to be your brother. He took a Christmas bag. That was his violation. He took the Christmas bag because he was hungry. He wanted to celebrate Christmas, brother. Not really. He just wanted to eat. Sometimes, man, your stomach's touching your back in there. You're hungrier than a Hebrew slave. Shit is real. Dude took the bag. And for taking the bag, he's got his homies. They're punching on him. They're kicking him. He's on the ground. Police come in. Lock in, lock in. Stop fighting, stop fighting. What do you think they do? All them gangsters, what do you think they do? As soon as the cops start yelling, they stop fighting. In federal prison, I'm going to tell you this right now. In probably 75 to 80% of the cases, they don't stop. When the police show up, they don't stop. They keep pushing. Nobody stops. You keep pushing until you put dude to sleep or until the cops jump on you. So they're beating on this dude, man, over his Christmas bag. Now they all, okay, it's over with. They all get handcuffed. You know, the big Aki that was calling the shots. He runs up to his cell. They lock us all in. They go over there. They hit his door, cuff him up. They're taking him out. He probably feels like he's that dude. He starts yelling, "Nobody violate us. We put in work. Don't no one violate us." Don't no one violate you? Yeah, you put in some work, but it wasn't that impressive. And really, man, you got at your own people for taking the Christmas back. And that's where we're going to with the story, right? Where the people that you're around, people that you don't expect, sometimes you might think, hey, man, these are my people. This is my brother. These are always the people that'll get you in prison. These are always the people that are going to put their hands on you. The people that you think respect you. The people that you think are your brothers. The people that you know you're ready to go to battle with. And really, this probably wasn't really about a Christmas bag. I mean, it was a reason. It was a dumbass reason. Because I'm sure nowhere in the Quran it says, hey, look, you can't take some Christmas food. Brother was talking about, hey, man, I'm not celebrating Christmas. I'm just eating the food, brother. I'm hungry. I don't really got shit. And a lot of people in jail don't got shit. A lot of people are from the trenches, right? Mother might be single mother on welfare. You trying to call home. Mama ain't got no money. Your homeboys forgot about you. Your girl left you. You ain't got shit. You're just trying to survive. And really, this dude was telling him not to take the Christmas bag because there's some animosity between the two. Because dude didn't like him. Dude decided, you know what? I don't like you. So I'm going to find a reason to do something to you. It's always that way. Can't tell you how many times I've seen in prison where dudes just find a reason. You know, we talked about this a little bit before where once you do get to prison, once you get to Big Sandy, there's a white gang. And, you know, they make up a reason. They're like, oh, we're going to do something to this dude. I'm sure some of you have heard the interviews. Some of the dudes that were there when this happened talked about it. They find a reason. Oh, man, dude was writing the prosecutor, man. And he gave over his notebook and you could see the indents on it. No, what you really wanted was you wanted dude shit. And you hear him screaming through the vent. Ah! He's being massacred in a cell, man. And when you got a dude holding the door and you got 2 or 3 dudes in the cell on you, and they got some of them bone crushers, there's no way out. There's no way out. None. But it always comes from dudes' absolute power, right? You got these dudes in prison that have absolute power. You got these dudes that want to be the Lion King. They want to be the king of the mountain. And they can dictate and they can tell you other people what to do. Yo, you, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to get at him. This is what he did. But really, you just wanted his stuff. Dude had a couple dollars. You wanted his commissary. You wanted his short eye books. You wanted his pictures. Yeah, pictures. Pictures cost money in prison. Pictures of women, right? And bikinis and some other type of pictures. You want his pictures because they're worth money. And really you want his shit so you can go get high. That's really what you want it for. Federal prison. Like I said, and plenty of people can attest in the comments, leave a comment because you lived it, man. If you lived it, leave a comment because you know this shit is real. You always have somebody pushing the envelope. You always have that one dude that's like, look, this is what it is, man. And then you got all the followers. And a whole bunch of them probably know deep in their mind, like, nah, this dude's full of shit. The shot caller's full of shit. Really, he's making us do some shit that we shouldn't be doing. But you do it anyway. You gotta fake it to make it. A lot of dudes do violent shit so that violent shit don't get done to them. But eventually, your card plays too. All the work you put in. You put all this work in for your car. You put all this work in for your gang. And eventually, someone else is going to put in some work on you. They're going to find a reason why you did something wrong. This is the vicious system that you get caught up in. You're out here in the street, you're getting money, living a good life, doing this, doing that, but you're never thinking about what's going to happen when you get to USP Pollock. You never think what's going to happen when you get to USP Victorville or USP Beaumont. You're never thinking about the gang that you're in, that the shot caller might not like you, that all that homie love and all that shit you grew up believing in, all that shit's out the window when you get in that penitentiary. When you get in there and there's a dude that's like, yo, man, about to get at this cat right here. He did this, he did that. We're going to end his life. End his life. Probably going to have this lady on where her son from D.C., he loses his life at Big Sandy. Wasn't there long. Lost his life. Young man. Life over with. They call his mom and say, hey, sorry to tell you, your son's gone. Because you get around some vicious people, like I said. People with no compassion. People that are angry inside, people that lash out. Why are they lashing out? They're lashing out because they're hurt inside. That's all they got left. Violence. That's all they got. And then people glamorize that shit, man. Dudes like, yo, you put in that work, bro. When they get out of the hole, yo, what's up, brother? You put in that work, man. I seen you when you were hitting him. He was screaming. But how about when you put in that real work and next thing you know, man, they're taking you to court. You only had 20 years, man. Now you got 50. You only had 20 years. Now they're talking about the death penalty. And we'll go through some of that death penalty stuff in the next couple of days. We're going to outline some of the federal death penalties, dudes that got sentenced to death for killing dudes in prison. We're going to do a little documentary on that. Not the place to be. Not the people that you want to be around. You know, when you walk in them places, you know, people always comment, you know, they talk about that old school shit. As long as you're not involved in gambling, any type of gay shit, you mind your own business, you're going to be okay. Well, it doesn't work that way anymore. That might have been the way they did it in the 80s or the 90s, but it don't work that way no more. There's always somebody in prison plotting on your ass. If you got something, they want it. If you don't got something, they're going to find a reason to dislike you. That's the reality of prison. It's your own people. Smash for a Christmas bag. Blood on the Razor Wire TV with respect. Until tomorrow, we're out.